All right, guys. So this is going to be a different type of video. Just hold on a second. So I was just looking at like people on YouTube, streamers, so-called celebrities, people on social media, and the filters are crazy because I was looking this in depth, and I'll show you what I mean. And I don't know if we can get in here too far up, but if you can look at her complexion and you can tell. But if you ever know people and seen their other posts, or even if you've seen them in person, that they don't really look like that, and it's so filtered. Like even now, it's still digitalized. That if you saw it like what I'm seeing, it's just so fake. What I mean by fake is, have you ever seen? Just like take a look. No wrinkles, no texture on their face, no different coloration, no wrinkles, fine lines, acne, pimples. And have you ever noticed that? Like back in the old days, like 2019, 2018, it wasn't as, filters like soft skin filters, smooth, makeup filters. And you've seen that, and especially if people go live and if they keep off or keep away from certain things, right? Lighting and stuff. And so, yes, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this, just the skin, and the cameras are using the quality. So, obviously, if you know anything about photography and just seeing things with your own eyes, you literally know that this is a filter. And that's what I mean when people post things, because in person, now, if you're certain types of celebrities and they spend millions and millions of dollars on procedures, and there has been one person that I've seen on a show in person, and they do look like that. They look different than everybody else, but they go to all that, the cosmetic stuff. Like they had go to surgeons and, or I forget what they call them, but like beauticians and like all the cosmetology stuff, and they actually do that, and they've been open about it and interviews and stuff like that. But I've also seen them in person at Universal Studios, and when you see them in person, like there's some people that actually do, but very few. Like, and you can tell one reason why it's so fake. It's just like there's no lines, there's no textures. It's all the same color. There's no kind of blemish, no fine lines. And I'm going to show you in pictures like this. And it's just like, I think we've kind of lost the point here between being what people even see is a certain image when we all know, and we'll get into it later more in a second. Now, here we have a photo, and you can't really tell, and I don't even know if it's going to come out on camera, but you can tell in the center part here, there's a lot of blemishes, but obviously there's no way you can tell on this picture, like the way that I'm seeing it. In person, you can tell, but on this, you can't. So let me see for a second. I think maybe this is the same person, but I think maybe you can see the blemishes more. And obviously, this is within the same day. And just like when social media, you can tell like how digitalized it is. And just in videos, I don't know why people want to. And I know people, believe me, I would say, and when I say personally, I'm not going to say friends or family, but I'm not going to say what or this and that. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But yeah, like I know one, like skin color is different, the shape face is different, like it's everything. It doesn't even look completely like them. And then if you ask them, they'll say, "Oh yeah, like that looks like me," and it doesn't look like them. Like everybody says that's not even the same color. But anyway, so that's why I'm saying this. And so here's an example of filters as well. And this is a guy, and you can see that, but this is him. This is actually him. Um, I don't know if you can really tell. I don't know if you can see that. And it's obviously not picking up, but and I'm not talking about acne and pimples and stuff like that, but I'm just saying in all overall in just in the texture of your face, right? The fine lines, the texture, the pores, the overall color, and just everything, right? And I just don't know why people keep. And so here's another person example. And I actually do know one person. I'm not going to set in this group of pictures that I'm going to show you. I do know, obviously it's all digital. It's all digital. You can tell because no wrinkles, almost the same color. You can see how it gets dark. Like that's the way the filters work, right? And you're using, and I've already said all the filters that you could use, but That's just a few, right? Here's another one. It's all filters. Um, and I don't know why people. Oh yeah, here's another one as well. And actually, you won't even. But I guess I'll just say it now. One of these people are actually the same person, but in two separate photos. One of them is them in this digital, like they don't even look like that. And I've showed you because at the end of this photo album that I'm about to show you guys, this actually is one of them, but you can't even tell because this person looks completely different and this other photo, but I'm not going to say, but yeah, it's like an Easter egg. Try to find this person's actually going to be in this whole group of photos, and you're not going to even be able to tell. And here's another one, and you can tell like this is more of what we're trying to get at. You know, you can see the lines here and the texture here, and this is what I'm talking about. Like this is what, and you know, this person happens to be an older, but they're an older person, but they're at least not so you know. And this one's actually a filter as well, but this person's a little bit older, and they have more wrinkles and lines. But that's what I'm saying. It's like so digitalized that they do this where you can't even tell. And this is actually another picture where you're not going to even be able to tell because the way that they have themselves, and I don't know what you guys want to call it, if it's a filter or how it's digitalized, but that's not the one that removes like basically any wrinkle, any fine line. You can even tell by the eyelashes, and we'll tell as well. This one, some people use the filters, the black and white filter, and that's another thing as well. And the reason I did kind of crop their face just so you know, but this is what I'm talking about. People are using these filters to, but I just don't understand why we're in an age where people are trying to, because in 2018, 2019, they didn't have all this. Like you have the blemishes, you have the acne, you have the pimples, you have the fine lines, the wrinkles, all the stuff, the, you know, different coloration. And in these pictures now, like they do not look like this. Like there, I can promise you, and I know this because I know, and I'm not going to say who and what, but I actually know one of these people in person, and they don't look like they, you know. And I'm going to give an example. Like this person's actually a lot older than you think, and you don't think they have any forehead wrinkles. You don't think they have any texture in this area, in the forehead, between the eyebrows. Of course they do, but obviously, and I'm not just using this. Here's another person as well. The filters on the forehead, you can just tell it's all filtered. This one as well, and this is actually another person that is in, but you see, you can't even tell that they're the same person. And we obviously know, and this person doesn't look like that. And I did obviously, like I said again, I did do this so it wouldn't show all their face, but this person does have wrinkles and fine lines and blemishes, but you can't tell, you know. This is just a guy, and this is a person taking the picture, but obviously the same filters on him. And another one as well, like why people take this, like you don't think like anybody would be able to tell. I know the shadows casting, but there's no wrinkles, no signs of, like, come on. Like why people, not that it's something, but I'm just saying, like, why is it that people are trying to do this whole, like their entire, like there's not one actual picture that looks like them in person, like in reality. And even with this picture as well, the same thing, the same coloration, no wrinkles, no, you can tell by different ways. Here's another picture as well. And this person doesn't look like this either. And in person, like you can just obviously tell it's even digital ties down here. And on this one, it's a little bit older. She's a little bit, you can tell the fine lines and some of the I guess, fine lines that you would say. Now, here's a more realistic 20-something-year-old, and you can tell they actually don't use, even though their makeup and it is a little bit filtered, it's not it's more natural. And as you can tell with her as well, it's more natural. You can tell that there are, fine lines, texture on her face. That's how the majority is really. And when I say that, I mean in person. Why people don't want to, like in person, why people want to fake how their image is when they meet them in person and they don't even look like that. Like, and then I just like think back, who are you doing this for, And here's a guy in a captured with this, and you can tell there's texture on his face, pores and whatnot. You can just tell, and that's more natural what people look like. Here's something a little bit more, and you can tell it is filtered on some, but this is more natural what people, when we're talking about just not really in vanity, we're just talking about why there's this kind of people want to hide how they truly look like. And I feel like that's kind of the bad end or the negativity of social media. It's trying to look at it like a way that it doesn't even make sense. These are not humans. They're not human features. And as you can tell with this different, and I'm not saying anything, but you can look in their own social media and you can go through, and these are filters. They don't look like this. And I did the switch there so you can kind of tell just the natural between the digital filtered style. And that's like my thing is, why not show how you really look like? Why put a filter, like for whom?